Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh by Shem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And I want to do honor to the elders out of Great Millstone for bringing this truth. And I also want to give honors to the Akim that's out here pushing this truth and sincerity to the four corners. And I'm going to get on right on down into it. Okay, basically, what I want to do is I want to just talk a little bit about, because if you pay attention, man, if you be on Facebook, you will see the strife that's going on between in the middle of the Israelite brotherhood. All our people that's waking up, and that's a good thing. They have differences of doctrine, differences of opinion. So but basically, we got laws we got to follow. Whether you agree on doctrine, disagree on doctrine, we got laws, statutes, and commandments that we gotta obey. We must obey. And I just want to put some things out there, that when you get through talking, there's just some things you can't change. Like that's your brother, can't change that fact. And I'm gonna give you, and this is Romans 12:9, and it says, "Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving Yahweh, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality." So basically what it's telling you, man, you gotta, it don't matter if you get into a disagreement or you don't agree on doctrine with your brothers, y'all still gotta love one another, man. At the end of the day, man, that's one of the laws that we gotta follow. That's a commandment. You gotta love your brother. And whether you agree with him or not, you can't hate him in your heart. You gotta always love him. That's just how it goes. You can't. We all gonna have disagreements. But at the end of the day, whether it's doctrine or whatever, it's gonna always be a disagreement. You still gotta love your brother. So I see us put curses on each other and stuff like that. When we disagree and we get into it, some brothers you just gotta not deal with, but you can't hate them, and you gotta deal with them in a fashion according to the scriptures. You can't just deal with them any kind of way. And let me give you Hebrews. This is Hebrews 13:1. It says, "Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." So basically what that's telling you is, when you entertain strangers, people that you don't know, your brothers, you're not familiar with them or whatever, you don't know who that person is. You don't know if that's somebody Yahweh will sit down there to you. And if you treat them bogus, and you treat them wrong, you'll be out of order, you'll be out of law. Because the law states that you gotta treat your brother a certain way. So the scripture says, "Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers. For thereby some have entertained angels unaware. Remember them that are in bonds as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity as being yourselves also in body." So what you can't do is, just because you don't know the person, and this don't just go for that, this doesn't go for brotherly love, this go for people who's trying to determine who is Israel and who's not Israel. Because you can't just discern that. You can't look at a person's skin color and say, okay, well, he an Israelite, he ain't Israelite. Because you're gonna have Edomites that look like just like me. Same features and everything. Then you're gonna have Israelites that don't look nothing like us. The scriptures already explained to us that our numbers are like the sands of the sea. And we don't see our numbers like that if you look at all the people on the planet. So that some of those people gotta be us. Okay? In the spirit, you're going to always be able to ascertain that. And this is 1 Peter 3:8. And it said, "Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, So we need to be of one man. And I know you probably wonder, does that mean of one doctrine or same doctrine or of one manner or in agreement? Well, what that means is we got to be under the law. We got to be under one man. Okay, if the law says for us to love our brothers, then that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love our people. And a lot of people don't get that. So, and then it says not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing. So, because your brother do something bogus towards you, he might steal something from you or do something that's cutthroat to you. You can't go back and repay him and recompense him the same thing that he did to you. No, you got to forgive him for it. And you got to let the Most High deal with it. He said vengeance is his. So you got to let him deal with it. You can't take it upon yourself and go avenge whatever it is that you're trying to avenge. And so it says not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. So whatever it is that happened, that he did, that was wrong, you let the Most High deal with that. And he's going to send you a blessing. You're going to get a blessing behind it. You're not going to lose out. I'm going to take this on to Leviticus. This is Leviticus 19 through 17. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. So you could be mad at him, pissed off at him, but you can't hate him in your heart. It says, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, and I just got through talking about that, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. So, and I just got to stating that, these are your brothers. You can't hold a grudge. We're bound by a contract, which is called a covenant. And because of the laws stated in that covenant, we got to adhere to the laws, statutes, and the commandments that he gave us, which seems to be everybody finding a way out of doing it. And it say, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. Because but you got to understand, that your spiritual brothers and sisters, whether they not your biological brothers and sisters, your spiritual brothers and sisters are considered in the eyes of Yahweh, are considered more of your family than your blood relatives, like that comes from your mother and your father. And this, I'm gonna take you to Matthew, and let me explain that. This is Matthew 12:46. It says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with them. So basically, while the Messiah was up doing his thing, he was preaching the word, his mother and his brother was out in the crowd standing. And he seen them. And the people in the crowd seen them too. So they was wondering, was he going to address them? And so when he didn't address them, they spoke and they let him know in case, he didn't see them. And he said, one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto them that told him, who is my mother? And who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand, And he said, and he looked at his disciples, and he like waved his hand towards his disciples, like these guys right here, He said, behold, my mother and my brethren. It said, for whoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my mother and sister and brother. So, he looking at this. Although you got spiritual, you got brothers and sisters that's through your bloodline, and then you got your brothers and sisters that are more your brothers and sisters, you know, in Yahweh, because everybody's not going to obey the word of Yahweh. So if you do the word of Yahweh, he's considering those are your brothers and sisters because y'all are like-minded. Y'all are under the same. Y'all are on one accord. You know, you might have a brother and sister that don't give a damn. You know, he's not talking about them. He don't, because he really don't. He can care less because he got something for them. Okay. Now I'm gonna hit you with a precept to that. I'm gonna hit you with a precept to that. This is Micah 7:5, and it says, "Put no trust in a neighbor." And this fitting these end times too. It says, "Put no trust in a neighbor, have no confidence in a friend. Guard the doors of your mouth from her who lies in your arms. For the son treats the father with contempt. The daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemy are the men of his own house." And this is why I just got to telling you that he regard your spiritual brothers and sisters that's in his truth. He considered them more your brother and sister than a blood relative. You saw how he just gave you the example of the way he did his mother and his brother who was standing out there. They was like, "Hey man, your mother and your brother stand out here, they wish to speak to you." And he looked at him, he pointed to his disciples, he said, like, "You see these guys right here? Behold, my mother, my brother, and my sister." So, and so you gotta understand, man, that's why I tell y'all, I love my brothers and my sisters, not just my earthly brothers and sisters, but also my spiritual brothers and sisters, because my earthly sister, she's also in the truth. She's also following the instruction of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, trying to do the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of her ability. So, yeah, she's my sister. She's my earthly sister and my spiritual sister. So, yeah. And then I have a brother. He's under a false doctrine. He don't know. He know not what he do. And that's cool. I'm not going to knock him for it. You know, I don't want to get into it with him about it, you know, because the scriptures say we shouldn't argue over things like, you know, Sabbath days and stuff like that and all that. You know, that's crazy. So, let me go back to where I was. And then I said, because, you know, you can say you love your people all day long, but according to the scriptures, you got to prove all things. You know, so whatever you say in faith, it's got to be backed up by action or works. You know, everything that you say. You know, I could tell you all day, you know, man, I'll do this or I'll do that. And every time you see me, I'll be like, yeah, man, because I'll do this and I'll do that. But I ain't never did this or did that. You guys going to always be somebody who's talking about professing stuff out of their mouth, saying that, you know, this or that. But they'll never put no action behind it. That's why the scripture said faith without works is dead. You know, so you can talk that talk, but you got to walk that walk. You know, that's why Christianity is dead, because they all faith and no works. They're not doing nothing. They're not doing nothing. All they're doing is talking. You know, so, and I'm gonna tell you this, and it says, and this is James 2:14, and it says, what does it profit, my brethren, through a man say he has faith and have not works? Can faith alone, it says, can faith alone save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, but notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what does it profit? For you to tell a person tell you they hungry, and you tell them, well, go eat and get full and be warm. But you ain't even trying to help him do the things that he need to do that with. That's vanity. That's all in vain. That's dead. You know? So it says, that even so faith, if it have not works, it dead being alone. So faith alone is dead. You must have works with that. And then it say, yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. You know, so I'm going to prove to you the things that I say out of my mouth by my actions, by the fruit. You know? And, hold on. And then it says, thou believest that there is one Yahweh, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac upon his son upon the altar? Because the Most High told him to go and sacrifice his son. And he said, okay. But that wasn't good enough. So he took him and he carried him up to the altar and he prepared to do it. And right before he did it, the Most High stopped him. Because he believed that he would do it. Because he had to stop him from doing it. So he was performing a work. He wasn't just talking out of his mouth saying that he's going to do something. He done it. Or he was going to do it. So, and then so let me go back. And then it said, and this is Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. Now, what are the powers that be? If the Most High is the highest power, he the Most High, he the highest power. What powers are ordained by him? The prophets. Who are the prophets? Us out here doing the work. We're ordained by him. We have the spirit of him in us to come out here and do this work. Rain, sleet, snow, hell. Hell, if it was fire out here, I'd be dodging fire. I'd be like, oh. I'll try to figure out a way to have a moist umbrella that stay moist so you know I could dodge the fire. But you know, the prophets are ordained by the Most High. And and this is a trip right here, though. Check this out. It said, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh. So if you resist the teachings that we put out here of the law, statutes, and commandments that's clearly written in the scriptures, if you resist that, you are resisting the words of the Most High. Then it says, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. So the scriptures that we putting out, it ain't hurting nobody that want to do the right thing. It's only offensive to an evil person or to a person that don't honor the works of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And then it said, do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of Yahweh to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil...
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Well, a lady come out here and said there's a man in trouble.
No, I'm out here.
I'll come to save you from trouble.
No, I'm out here preaching the Bible. How you doing?
Good. Now listen, do me a favor. Read the back of the book. We win. Read the back of the book. We win.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We win.
We win.
We win. So, as long as I know you ain't in trouble.
Oh, yeah. No trouble.
This guy down and keep us in trouble. Oh, man. There's somebody out here whooping on them.
No. No, I'm just out here preaching, man. Putting a good word out here.
Hey.
All right. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Take care now. Don't get in trouble.
Oh, no. I ain't gonna get no trouble. Hey, I do this every week. You didn't know that, did you? Every week. I'm out here.
Things I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, and then so it says, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. So, if I'm out here preaching, if I'm out here putting the word of the Most High out here, and I'm teaching it to you. The only person that's going to be offended by it is a person that don't believe in the word. That's going to be offensive to him. And that's what the scripture just said. And so it said, for he is the minister of Yahweh to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of Yahweh, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. So if I curse you, if I put curses on you in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you're done. It's over with. You know, I mean, because I mean, if you're doing good works, you have nothing to worry about. How can a person put curses on you for that? And then so, it says, wherefore you must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause, pay ye tribute also. For they are Yahweh's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their duties tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to who custom, fear to who fear, honor to whom honor. And that's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. You know? You know, but it's a, but it goes back to, you know, you know, and I'm on this thing about what I was telling you about love your brother. When you love your brother or your brethren, that's your fellow Israelites, your fellow black man, Native American Indians, Hispanics, the 12 tribes. I'm talking about love them. Okay? Now, your neighbor is your brother. So when they say your brother or your neighbor, same thing. You can't hate them. You gotta love them. You know? And a lot of people don't understand that. But you know, even though you gotta love your brother, you don't have to deal with him if he's a false prophet. You know? If you see he's not honoring the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you don't have to deal with this dude. I'm going to read you 2 Peter. And it said, but false prophets also arose among the people, just like it is now. It says, just as there will be false teachers among you who will secretly bring in destructive hearsays, even denying the master who brought them, bringing upon themselves swift destruction. I'm going to give you an example. It's a lot of brothers that came into the truth. Different little camps. And once they learned the truth, whether they went off or not, or whatever happened, they denied their masters, or their teachers, or their elders, you know, and went their own way. So, that's what happened with them. And it says, and many will follow their sensuality, and because of them, the way of truth will be blasphemed. So they're going to follow, they're going to go under their own understanding and alter or blaspheme the truth of the Yahweh. You know, and they're not gonna preach it the way it's supposed to be preached, because they're not going to understand it, because they're false prophets, and the truth ain't going to be revealed unto them. So, and it says, and in their greed, they will exploit you with false words. They're going to talk about you because you don't believe what they believe. These people have been believing the same thing that you've been believing all this time. And now, all of a sudden, the Most High took that truth from them. And now, they believe whatever's under their own understanding, whatever they can put together one and one to make two with. That's what they believe. And because you ain't going that route with them and you don't see, they think you blinded. And they on the right path, but you gone. And that's all you guys just talk about Esau was the Arab. All this time, Esau has always been the Edomite. All this time. So, then it says, it said their condemnation from long ago is not idle, and their destruction is not asleep. For if Yahweh did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept unto the judgment, if he did not spare the ancient world, but preserved Noah, a herald of righteousness with 7 others, when he brought a flood upon the world of the ungodly. Come on now. You know, what you think he's gonna do to everybody else? If he was so harsh and so brash with people who done righteous acts that made 1 or 2 little mistakes, what you think he's gonna do to a person who don't got no righteousness in him? He's gonna destroy him. But my thing is this, right? And I can't reiterate this enough. The only way you're gonna be certain that you are an Israelite is when Yahweh Shah comes. You're gonna see who's gonna make it and who's not. You're gonna know. You cannot tell by skin color. You don't know me, but you're looking at my skin color right now, and I could be an Edomite. I know I'm not because I know my lineage, but I could be. Because all it takes is for my bloodline to go back to a European, and I'll be an Edomite. You know? All that person gotta do is keep mating back to a black person, Israelite. Mate back to an Israelite. And after they do that, the baby gonna look just like over generations and generations of mating back to the same. You're not gonna see that the person how it started off. All it takes is 3 generations to remove that. You know, and people don't even understand it. So you're not gonna be able to tell like that. You can't tell by complexion if this man is an Edomite or if he's an Israelite or he was a Hamite or if he's Moabite. You know, you're not gonna know that. You're not gonna know. You're not gonna know. Only way you're gonna know is through the Spirit. Through the Spirit, you're gonna know. Just like I told a couple of my guys a long time ago. I had a couple of buddies. We thought they was white, and I said, man, you know what, man? I'm like, man, I don't care, man. I'm like, they called him white on the outside and black on the inside. And it was because he did not hang with nobody but us. He didn't deal with nobody but us, our kind of people. That's all he did. He liked the things we liked. He was just like us. Because in the spirit, what I didn't know then was that in the spirit, his line goes all the way back to an Israelite. That's all. His line went all the way back to an Israelite. We thought he was Edomite. It's gonna, and you can always judge it through the spirit. You can't judge it through the flesh. The flesh is corrupted. The scriptures tell you that. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah, Shalom.